It has been a war each and every time they have gone out on the floor.
That was part of y'all's game plan. Wear her out.
And the game plan was always the same. Stop Tamika Catchings.
They went from the bad boy to the bad girl, real bad. Like, this is just all bad.
We are not going to get pushed around. It's not who we are.
At this point, nothing else matters. Oh, Lord have mercy.
Catch.
Who is that?
The Bob.
Oh, yes, the Bob is there. There it is. If you haven't seen it, you're going to see it now.
Look, I said you were a little more consistent with your hairstyles, especially early on for us. Like, I have no idea when I did this.
I don't remember that.
Because it was only for picture day. I didn't play like that.
Yeah, I always had the braids, one way or another. Back to the days, Yukon, Tennessee.
2000.
Welcome to Philadelphia for the NCAA Women's National Championship game.
Going into the season, I felt like every year we were preparing for playing against you guys.
It's an intense rivalry, as you know, between Connecticut and Tennessee. That has been a war each and every time they have gone out on the floor.
Get to that game, and I just think like you guys started the game just hitting, and it was just like, man, we weren't ready for that.
Tennessee is trying to be aggressive, that's great, but they're just forcing the issue.
And then that's when coach was like, you got to backdoor them, get to the basket. And we were prepared because we used to run splits every single day. Like, when I was sleeping, I'd be dreaming about splits. Like, oh my goodness, like I have to be able to flash to the ball, backdoor cut, backdoor cut.
On the penetration, here you see Shane Ralph.
We were so aggressive because that's how we had won games all season long. But we didn't adjust. For us, our adjustment was play harder, play harder, get higher in the passing lane, which almost made it easier. So, yeah, like, can we go back? Now I see what happened. I want to go back to 2000. I want to replay the game.
And Connecticut has done it. They have won the national championship here in Philadelphia.
What I remember about this, Sue said she was going to do the dive, and if you watch her flying down, I said I would join you, but you see, I kind of put my hand down. I wasn't doing the whole swim.
So you go W, you go Detroit, I'm in Indy. You are part of the bad boys. They went from the bad boy to the bad girl, real bad. Like, this is just all bad in Detroit. And all bad. I'm like, how you get Bill Lambier with a ladies team and you transform this team into, like, literally y'all were the bad girls. Seriously.
Yeah. You know what it was, sis? It was like Isaiah Thomas was coming around and Rick Mahorn, and every city we went to, guys would just pop up and talk to us about, oh yeah, this is what we used to do, and this was the bad boys, and that was the mentality we took on. So now everything has to come through us in Detroit.
2007, Eastern Conference Finals. We went all the way to Game 3.
Shot the three, 1, 2, 3. The game plan was always the same. Stop Tamika Catchings. We ran different bodies at you to make sure that even when you felt like, oh, I got a breather to somebody that's smaller on me, it's like, all right, now you have to think about, how do I get my shot off this way? Then we put Katie on you, and it's like, all right, she's sticking to my hip, she's physical, so can I go around her?
Yeah, I really remember Katie. Just her elbowing me and grabbing my jersey. People ask all the time, who's the hardest person you've ever been guarded by? It's Katie. I would sit in my room and mentally try to like get myself prepared. And I was physical. I knew I was a physical player. So having to go against you guys and getting beat up, like that, I feel like that was part of y'all's game plan, like wear her out.
Tamika, it always comes down to Indiana and Detroit. What are your thoughts about the Shock series after they've eliminated you each of the last 3 years in the playoffs?
I'm excited about playing Detroit again, actually. One of the things we continue to talk about every year is just to get to the championship, you have to go through Detroit. And the only way that this story ends is by allowing us the opportunity to play the giant that we've had to face for the previous 4 years.
And it's apropos that Tamika Catchings grabs the final rebound. And the final, Indiana 72, the Shock 67.
Getting over that hurdle What's your thoughts? Just like how hard you had to work to like get that team, that franchise there? Because it doesn't happen without you.
So you remember they did the top 15 players. They started naming all these players with their championships.
Cheryl's historic basketball career includes 4 WNBA titles. Diana is a 2-time WNBA champion with the Phoenix Mercury.
And I remember at that moment, I was like, gosh, I'm one of the few out of these 15 that have never won a championship. So it's like that one weight that's on your shoulders and you're just like, oh. So we get to 2012, Eastern Conference Finals. Katie Douglas goes down.
Katie Douglas is on the floor in pain.
And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. We win, and we're advancing to play in Minnesota. They got Maya Moore, Lindsay Whalen, Simone Augustus. I mean, like they're just loaded. Everybody automatic, oh, you know what? Minnesota's gonna win in 3, don't worry about it. Game 1, we'll win the game, and everybody's like, oh, that's a fluke. There's no way that Indiana wins another game. Game 2, they beat us, but in that game, Jeanette Poland goes down. So now our number 1 and our number 2 players are down. So it's like we lose that game, get back to Indy. I remember third quarter, look up at the scoreboard, like we're up by like 30.
Minnesota hasn't scored in 5 minutes.
And I'm like, I'm dreaming right now.
Indiana has won the WNBA championship for the very first time.
I finally joined you
joined
being
the
one of the great
championship ranks.
3 WNBA championships. I'm like, gosh, I finally got one, and I'm cool with that.
I started out in Detroit with Bill, right? And then, you know how the league happens, and I go to Seattle and eventually Chicago and end up in New York. And guess who's my coach again? Bill Lambier. We go into 2015. We just had all the different pieces. I mean, we were dominating that year in a fashion that we knew, like, this is our moment.
You've got great individual contributions, but you've also got nice team play. Every night, someone else is stepping up.
And I remember whenever the playoff stuff came out, and I looked down at it, and I said, ain't this about it? And at that moment, before the playoffs even began, I started prepping them because I said, we are going to have to play Indiana. And they're like, oh, well, they have to go here and play there. And I said, no, no, no. I know her. We're going to have to play Indiana. So are we prepared and ready to play that team?
We're a well-oiled machine. We got this. Right from the beginning. Go! We are! New York! Come on.
We won at home, and then we came to you guys, and y'all beat us. And Bill, for whatever reason...
Oh, my. Don't tell me this. Do not tell me this.
I did my press conference, and as I'm coming out, he's coming down the hall. And he just had that smirk on his face. And I said to him, I said, this ain't over. And he was like, I look, All right, we'll see. There are certain coaches that would just make you angry and make you mad, because if that's not your natural tendency, you're gonna come into the game mad about something he said, and it's gonna throw you off your game. But at this point, nothing else matters. I was determined.
We can beat this team. We gotta believe in it. We gotta work hard together. Let's go. Be 1, 2, 3. Be there.
You have to carry me out on a stretcher for us to lose this game.
Things getting a little out of hand for Bill Lambier's Liberty.
And the Indiana Fever take it 76-7.
Well, it's interesting because when we talk now, we don't really talk about our playing days. We talk more about, you know, we're both married, you got Saint, and how's he doing, and, you know, the transition. Because both of us have now transitioned into the next phase of life. And so you just look at the different phases and how our life has intertwined and how and why we have become so close. The orange ball, the orange and white, like that's what brought us together. And it's really cool to be able to have opportunities like this.
Faith, family, and fellowship. So all about.
And love.
And love. Love you, sister.
Love you too.
Oh.